Protestant Reformation. During this period of time, there was a tendency for anti-clericalism and a call for reforms. The Protestant Reformation, a very revolutionizing event, was of the 16th century European movement aimed at reforming the beliefs and practices of the Roman Catholic Church. The religious aspects were issued by the political leaders who wanted to get more power and more control. Due to these issues, various conflicts were created, including those especially of both social, personal, and spiritual conflicts. The Fourth Lateral Council created all the regulations for the Church, resulting in the abandonment of the rituals of the Church. As the Church promised less, the common people were eager for a general reform of Christianity. Heretics, ethnicity, and nationalism affected the Church. The European kings wanted to gain much power rather than have nobility. In the journal article Law, Religion, and Human Rights by John Witt, Jr., he discusses that religion and human rights were important rights that every European should have. Religion and human rights were no excluded, leading to a catastrophic life for others. Some of these human right norms were of liberty, equality, and fraternity. These values play a vital role in society in ancient day and modern day, giving a less complicated environment. The Protestant Reformation was formed as a human rights movement. This movement laid the platform for religion and more individual liberty. Martin Luther was one out of the two main leaders in the Protestant Reformation. Martin Luther was a confident and crude man. He could talk about anything that came on his mind. He worried about sin and the corruption of the churches. Don't confuse Martin Luther with Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a major leader in the African American civil rights movement. Martin Luther King Jr. was named after Martin Luther in this Protestant Reformation. Martin Luther later then wrote his famous 95 Theses, 95 Theses, a paper which condemned and stressed the concern of the corruption of the churches. Martin Luther later nailed this paper to the door of the Wittenberg Church, creating the Reformed movement to come into full swing. Luther's 95 Theses were printed all over in Germany. The Pope was informed of this and ordered Luther to stop with his beliefs. Luther responded by burning the papal decree in front of his students. Emperor Charles V declared him an outlaw, and Luther was put into exile. In 1529, the German princes signed a decree at the Diet of Speyer, publicly declaring their support for Luther and his teachings. Martin Luther and the German princes inspired an entire generation to break away from the Catholic Church. Martin Luther's message held great appeal for various groups, some of whom had less than spiritual concerns.